Hey boys and girls, welcome back. I'm here with Sean of Blue Tech Mobile Detailing, and by all means check out his YouTube channel under, wait for it, Blue Tech Mobile Detailing. We wanted to address a couple things. One of the things was Sean's kind of we've kind of come up with this moniker of the Gatekeeper. I simply have too many balls in the air. I live a very busy life, and that's part of the point of this video. Is the main point, what from you guys would you want me or Sean, the both of us, whatever, to shoot videos on? Subject matter, whatever. But as a little cautionary note, I like this saying, the quality of your questions will largely determine the quality of your life. So the quality of the information that you want out of us as a team will largely be determined on the quality of your question. What does Darren mean by that? It means don't shoot me out a question. In fact, I was having this text exchange with one of the people I'm in contact with, and he's talking about how difficult it is to price out paint correction jobs. And I said, okay, if you refine that problem that you're experiencing, because to me that could be 20 different problems. If you can refine that into a single sentence or two, I will make a video on it. So he shoots me back this statement, this question that was so ambiguous, I still didn't know what to do with it. So when you attempt to say, oh, I would love to see a video about this, and by the way, I'm going to set up this disclaimer. Don't ask about ceramic coatings. I just don't have time in my life to start dealing with ceramic coatings. My simple answer is yes. Is there a place for them in the world of auto detailing and car care? Absolutely. The counter to that is that, like every other part of this world, there's so much hype and misrepresentation from the manufacturers themselves as well as the detailers that are installing them, meaning they don't fully inform their customer first. So I'm just going to say don't ask questions about ceramic coatings. But if there's a specific idea, because Sean and I, we've been talking about different ideas of, okay, let's talk about someone's video that they shot. We can kind of scrutinize it and say, okay, I can tell this guy's a beginner, or I can tell this guy's actually not a detailer. He's what I call a YouTube detailer, and this is how I can tell. So we've talked about different ideas. So you can present an idea that we could follow and implement, or you could have a very specific question that you want addressed. And it can be something tangible, like how do you do this? Or it could be something like, hey, Darren, how do you assess a car with the customer and manage their expectations through verbal communication? Something like that. So if you were a viewer, would that make sense,
yes.
that description?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to address is something, because Sean was saying like he notices that other detailers will kind of let people know what's going on in my life. So my life is very, very busy. And you said something the other day where you were on a detail and you're like, man, I can't believe how much effort it takes to detail a car and shoot a video.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, welcome to my world. Now let's add to that, like, oh, by the way, I'm in the process of raising 5 children.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, I'm actually married and I've got a house payment called a mortgage. Oh, and by the way, I take time to go to the gym.
Right.
And I've been doing this for 30 years. Oh, and by the way, I have 2 websites. Oh, and by the way, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, now there's Instagram.
Right.
And so it's just like, oh my gosh.
You forgot CSI?
I actually was getting to that.
Okay.
So the point is the past 30 years, I've just like run myself ragged, trying to juggle all these balls in the air and creating what I have. So there's a theme, which I've noticed on YouTube, that generally these guys that have pretty successful channels, by the way, they're typically young. Often they're living at home. They don't have a mortgage. Maybe they have a car payment at best. Point is they are living at home, which means they don't have to have a full-time job and they can create videos. It's hard to keep up with that. And not that I'm trying to make a direct comparison. I'm just saying is that there's a theme. And I question how come more people, you guys, don't connect the dots of like, wow. Because you and I, we've talked about your health, for example.
Yeah.
Where I said, and you're 6'4". You are at a disadvantage when it comes to the world of detailing.
Yeah.
So your physical condition,
right.
your physical, like how much real estate do you take up in this world? You take up more than I do.
Right.
So you are at a disadvantage in certain ways, but in certain ways I'm at a disadvantage because I'm shorter than you are.
Yeah.
So you could reach in areas that I could not without the use of a ladder, but I can contort my body into areas of the car easier than you could.
Yeah.
So often I see these, YouTube detailers and I think, okay, could that guy really go out in the hot sun 5 to 6 days a week? Because most of my life I've worked 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Could they go out in the sun anywhere from 5 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, and do detailing based on what I'm observing?
Right.
I mean, do you think you could literally do that? You were in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was a 9-hour detail, which is very long. How many days in a row do you think you could sustain that based on your current experience level and conditioning?
I think it would be really hard.
I know it'd be really hard.
But but you can see what I can do.
Yes, which you have a lot of determination.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it can't be done.
Right.
I'm just saying is that how come guys aren't questioning that?
Oh, well, yeah, I agree that detailing is not for everyone. It is extremely more difficult than it looks.
Yes. And that's one of my big things is like, okay, why do I know you're going to fail? Because most guys do not know what hard work really is. They think they do. I promise you, if you lined up 1,000 people and said, okay, everyone raise their hands that knows what hard work is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 999 of those people would raise their hands.
Right.
And then you put them out in the world of detailing. You're like, okay, we're going to show you what hard work is.
Right.
And after 20 minutes, it'd be like, oh my gosh, hell no. It's like, exactly. So it really, you've got to be kind of wired in a, we could even call it a distorted way of wiring, because who likes that? It's like, well, I love it.
Right. I think also with detailing is, when I say it's not for everyone, it's like if you are a hard worker but you don't like detailing, you're not going to last very long, and vice versa.
So it needs to be a winning balance. Your capacity or ability to actually sustain that level of work.
Right.
Your a tolerance level for hard work and being uncomfortable, and your passion for cleaning things, organizing things, the appearance of things. So it's got to be that winning balance.
Right. And also it helps if you're in shape. I am not in shape.
Well, that has to do with the conditioning, meaning your capacity to endure discomfort and hard work in general. Because if you're working hard, often, at least here in California, you're going to be hot, sweaty, and at a level not very comfortable.
Right.
So I find that a lot of people, like my one son, he hates the heat.
No.
And he just complains about, man, it's just too hot. I love the winter time. And I'm like, you know what? I prefer the heat as long as I don't have to wear clothes.
Okay.
But if I have to be fully dressed and I'm sweating and it's humid, I'm pretty uncomfortable. That doesn't really work for me. But I can sustain and be in the direct sunlight and the heat for hours. I mean, I've done it for 30 plus years, hence my skin is pretty tore up, despite using sun protection.
Yeah.
And I'm a white guy, so we age very poorly compared to other ethnicities. So, with that said, we want to hear from you guys some ideas, some specific questions, and I'm going to put the responsibility on to Sean and say, Sean, because I don't have time, that's part of the balls in the air for me, is I just have too many balls in the air. I still have 5 kids, I still go to the gym, I'm still married, I still got a mortgage payment, I'm still running a business, and now my current venture is that I'm a business partner with Clear Coat Solutions, Tom Horvath. It's called CSI. I'm sure by this point, if you've been following along, you're like, okay, Darren, we get it. You love the product. It's like, well, now I'm officially invested in it. So I am a partner, an investor. You can call it whatever you want. So that's a whole nother can of worms and a whole nother level of challenges. So needless to say, I'm very busy. I don't have time to respond to all these questions as much as I would love to, because I would. So with that said, is tighten up your question or your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your not recommendation, your idea.
Yeah.
So like literally force yourself to write it on a piece of paper, hand it to someone and ask them, okay, does that at least make sense to that person, whether they're a detailer or not? So refine it as tightly as you can before you present it to us. And just know that we're obviously not going to be able to run with every idea and every question, but it will give us a starting point to try to help us engage with you guys at a more personal level. How about that?
And also, if you guys give us a really good idea, we'll be sure to mention your name when we do the video. That way we give you credit.
Yeah, actually, you can include that. Because some guys get really shy. Like, oh, don't say my name.
Yeah.
So you tell us what intel you would want us to deliver with that. Say, oh, we got this guy. His moniker is best exotic car pimp. I don't know what. Monikers are all over the board. So you tell us what you would want us to actually say on camera, and we will make sure to mention that and give you guys credit.
Of course.
Because I like to give credit where credit's due.
Agreed.
Okay, by the way, I'm not drinking this water. I've reused this, and so whatever this says right here, that's not what's in here. It's just distilled water. FYI, that's a little sidebar.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add, Sean?
No, I think
we'll cut it there?
Yeah, that's good.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
As I say, we'll cut it there.
All right.
Okay, guys, we'll see you on the next video.